this is the growth section of Chatterley. As you can see, all I need to do to get here is just click on the growth button. And the first thing we're going to look at is the promotion side. So I'm going to click away that sidebar there. And as you can see inside of here, this is where we would be able to track all of our promotions inside of Chatterley. There are 3 promotions that you are able to track inside of Chatterley, such as trial, tracking, and promotion links. These are all things that you can access via the OnlyFans website browser, so we incorporated them into here as well too. So if I wanted to get certain data from a trial, I could use just here. I could also look at all of my tracking links depending on what I was doing. And then of course, if I have any promotions that I wanted to use, I can use them here as well too. So one of the things that I'm going to try, I'm just going to update one of these links here just so that way we are able to determine what revenue we get. So I'm just going to click on the play button here. Last updated was April 13th at 12:21 a.m. So we're going to resync this and we're going to let this run. While that is syncing, you can easily look through the information here. So as you can see, I have a name for the link. So this is what's generated on the OnlyFans website. We're also able to see when the date it was created and how many claims we have. So you're able to really determine, you can also sort these as well too. So if you want to look at your recent ones, if you want to look at your top claimed ones, eventually, whenever all this data does load into here, you can look at your claim per spender. So let's say that this cost was just $250. This is going to help me track a little bit just so I know how much I spent for this kind of promo. You'd be able to just start looking at your profitability ratios. So as you can see here, I'm negative $250 because we haven't made any revenue from it. So I'm going to refresh this data real quick to see if that did generate. And as you can see here, it did generate some revenue. It's still even going as well too. So it's going to consistently pick up more data as time goes by, just as it scans through all the fans. So as you can see now, with this link, we've got 484 fans. It's only sifted through about 19 paid fans right now who have actually spent money. So that way we can, determine only the spenders that are on there, since obviously the free people aren't going to really generate any income on there. And if this was costing me $250, you can now look at my profitability, which is now $390. So this allows you to figure out that you have now 156% ROI on it. And of course, you can also see your claim per spend, just so that way you're able to determine that information there as well too. As you can see, that was done on my test creator. If I ever wanted to swap around, I could as well too. As you can see here, this is syncing. So as we go through, you might see the revenue continue to go up over time as it continues to find more people. You can also copy this link as well too, just in case you want to immediately send it off to your promotion ad buyer or whoever needs this link. You can easily click copy link right here just to send it off. And of course, if you wanted to find more details, you could easily click on this link inside of here and you'd be able to determine some information inside of here. So inside of here on the bottom, we're going to be able to see all the usernames of people that have spent, and you're able to see their breakdown. So I can see their total messages. I can see how many messages they've bought, how many posts they've bought, stream money, if they've had subscription money, and their tip money, of course, as well too. And you're able to see when they've subscribed as well too, just on there. This is now the scripts section inside of the growth tab. As you can see here, I've got the scripts. I'm just going to click out of there. If you wanted to create a script, this is the place to do it. So as you can see here, we've got our test creator here. If you have scripts that are already in a CSV file, you can easily upload them on here, or you can add our template just in case you want to maybe do a mass one here as well too. If you want to upload that, you just click here and upload your data into there. I don't have that currently, so we're not going to do that. As you can see here, I'm going to make a test for our test creator 1. So I'm going to click create script. Inside of the create script section, you've got the name of the script. So maybe I'm just going to name this test script just so that way we have it. And I'm just going to say, hey, and we'll click on the tags of the name. So this can either be chosen by the fan, which is this one here. If they have a display name that we've given, that we've personally put on there, you can add that. Or you can also insert a nickname given by us, whoever has written the notes on that account. And if none are available, then the fan's name that is on OnlyFans will appear there as well too. You can also just go through the other way around. So if the fan's name is there first, it'll prioritize that. And if there's nothing there, then it'll go by your nickname. So if you wanted to do that and wanted to go through from there, you can easily just create that. I'm just going to go through with the quick and easy one, the hey name. And I'm just going to say, how are you today? Just so that way we can get a script built in. We can also include emojis here. So I'm just going to click on a little smiley face emoji. And if you wanted to add a locked message to this, you can. So I'm going to add a $3 locked message here. Now all you got to do is just click on this content here. And inside of this, I can select that content to be locked. Now you can also create tags inside of the script section. This basically allows you to start sorting all of your scripts into different areas / libraries to where you can easily access them and split them up as you need. So maybe I'm going to use this as just test. That's going to be my tag name. But maybe you name them SS1 for sexting script 1, or maybe you name them greet for your greetings. Whatever you need, you can easily label them from here. If there was somebody that needed to be tagged, you could easily click on tags here. And of course, if there was a release form available and you needed it, you could add it on there too. We're going to click add message here, and this is going to get added from here. As you can see, I've got the test tag. If you refresh your table, your test tag will now appear here. So I can click that. And of course, if there was any sorting or anything like that, we would be inside of the test section. So that way you would see all of our tests in one area. Once that's done, you can easily edit it on here as well too. You can also copy this to add to your other creators. So that way, if this is a common greeting, let's say it's an intro message or an outro message, whatever it may be, and you use this across all of your creators, you can easily click copy here and paste it over to the other creators. You can also delete it here as well too, and you can move it up in the priority or move it down in the priority. So if we had 5 scripts here, there would be 5 different ones here. Maybe you want one to be at the top. Maybe it's, test script 1, test script 2, test script 3. You'd be able to sort and order here as well too. That's everything inside of the script section. Now if we go over to the Followbot section, this is very simple and easy. All you need to do is click the play button, press it once, and forget it. Once it is turned on, Chatterley will continue to scan and run every 24 hours once it hits a limit. So if it hits a limit at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, it will then wait 24 more hours to run that limit yet again. It does check sometimes hourly to allow and just make sure that OnlyFans did not let a limit pass through. So just in case you are able to follow more people, it will attempt to do so. Whenever you do this and you run it, you set it once and forget it, and you'll never have to touch it again. If you ever want to find details about your fans that you've recently followed back, you'd have all of that information here. And of course, you see on the top, we've got some detailed statistics here. As you go through and follow people back, you'll be able to see a lot more details on that section there. Inside of the fan group section is actually a breakdown of where all of our fans are. So you're able to look at their spending habits. As you can see here, we've got a huge curve that starts from the $0 to $10 range, and it goes all the way up to $500+. So I simply want to create a fan group here. So that way I can sort through my fans. Maybe I want to call this my low spenders. And maybe I want to make sure that only the people that have spent $0 to, let's say, $5 are included inside of this group. I can include this if I wanted only my newest fans, so let's say the last 30 days, or I can also create an online fans only group as well too. Just so that way if I wanted to create a quick list to send as a mass DM, you could create this list right then and there. I'm just going to create this without those selected just so that group can be created here. And of course, if I wanted to delete this, I would be easily able to delete it from here. Now, we also have pre-made groups that we give you as well. So such as newly subscribed fans, recently expired fans, longest subscribed fans, and currently online fans. This allows you to just get some pre-made lists that we've created for you, just so that way you can add it to your creator and let Chatterley source all that data for you as well too. If you didn't want to do that, you can just click out of it and you can create your own custom groups instead. As you go through this list and you create them, they automatically get sent over to OnlyFans, and OnlyFans starts to add them into a list. While Chatterley does send the data over to OnlyFans instantly, OnlyFans does have limits on how fast you can add people into there, so give it a few minutes while it starts to find and source all the data and add people into that list. Now the automation section. Inside of the automations, we've got tons of things for you to be able to look at in here. We've got a welcome message automation. So basically, anytime you send in a welcome message, you'll easily be able to have a follow-up welcome message to that. So maybe your welcome message is a locked message and it just, welcomes them to the page. Maybe your follow-up message is something as simple as a, hey, what's your name bump? Just so that way you're able to have a conversation starter on there. As I set this active, as you can see here, we're going to set a time. So depending on how long you want that bump to happen, you could have it happen within 1 minute after the welcome message, or you could have it up to an hour, even longer than that. You can have it as long as you want. Just to protect flow of convo, I'm just going to put 1 minute just so that way it's there. You can also have a time limitation. So only send messages if the last chat is older than the specified amount of time, which means that basically if there was a chat that had already been answered within, let's say 2 minutes or 3 minutes, I could block that from basically being sent out. So if any message has basically been timed and not responded to within, let's say 2 minutes, we would then be able to block that out. You can also go to message mode here, and inside of here you can make either random or you can do every message will be sent. So depending on if you have certain scripts, if you have one that you're just going to send, or if you want to just randomize whatever you have, you can do that as well here. So I'm simply just going to go to add message. Now I'm going to say, hey name. This is already pre-filled out for me since I typed this earlier. And we would be able to start adding whatever we wanted. How are you today? Let's just get a normal conversation starter ready for them. We're not going to add anything locked. We're not going to add media. But we're just going to see if there's a message delay. Let's just add a 5-second message delay, just so that way it's not anything crazy in case we were to stack it up with multiple messages. We aren't, but I'm just adding that information there for you. So you can have this information here. You can set it up, and if you have your delays, you can copy this to other models as well too. And of course, you can move it down on the priority list. Inside of the pay-per-view follow-up section, we're also able to turn this information on as well too. So we can automatically bump a fan who did not purchase the most recent pay-per-view. This is something as simple as if you send out a locked message and within maybe, let's say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'd be able to just send out a bump saying, hey, I sent this to you. Do you want to unlock it? Or hey, am I not special enough for you? Whatever you want to do to basically make people buy that pay-per-view, you can submit up here. Inside of here, if you have fans that have not seen the message, you can make sure that they get the bump versus fans, if they have seen it, maybe they don't get the bump, just so that way you're able to make sure that people who have actually seen it actually get that bump versus people who haven't, since they haven't even had the chance to look at that message yet. And of course, it has the same parameters as before. You can either go random or you can do where every message gets sent, and you can add your custom message here. We've also got expired fans. So if your subscription is going to be ending within the next X amount of time. So as you can say here, this is your X hours. So let's say maybe 12 hours before their subscription ends, you want to send them a bump. Just saying like, hey, I noticed your subscription is ending. What can I do to make you turn on that rebill? That's a message that you could put down here in the message section and send it out to them 12 hours before their subscription expires. You can also set spending limitations just in case you wanted to. So maybe you only want to do people who have spent more than $3. You can add that here too. And maybe you only want to send that message if we haven't chatted with that person within X minutes or X hours. Just so that way, if we're already in active conversation and you beat the person to the, let's say, the automated expired message coming in, that way Chatterly doesn't override that conversation and send a bot-like response to that subscriber. We've also got our subscription renew, which is currently in beta. As you'll see, these next 3 features are in beta. So if you want to turn on, a feature like this, all you need to do is click turn on. You can also set the time. So basically, whenever a fan renews their subscription, you can thank them for doing so. This is how I would use this feature. I would add a message thanking them for their time. Maybe you add a rebill incentive like a video or a picture, and you can have all that information on here. You can also have a time limit set to send this message out. So let's say immediately 1 minute after they turn it on, you'll send that message out, or maybe it's a week, whatever it is. And you can also determine how many months have been subbed. So maybe you only want to do it for your 3-month club. Everybody who has rebuilt for more than a year, you get a special surprise. Whatever it is, you can put that information inside of here. You can also put spending limitations on. So maybe you only spoil people who have spent maybe over $100. You can get really customizable with this information, and so we allow you to do that on here. You can also mark messages as unread. So in case you accidentally open a message and you click out of it to reply later, but you forgot to mark it as unread, Chatterly can automatically mark it as unread for you within X amount of minutes that you set. So maybe you want it to be 10 minutes, which is our default that we have on here. You can keep that on there, or if you want it to be quicker, you can put that as well too. And we also have our online messenger. So whenever a fan arrives online, you'd be able to instantly send them a message to basically bump them and let them know that you are there and ready to chat. So you can set the time. Right now I have 3 minutes set on here. You can make it 1 minute. You can make it 10 minutes to maybe not see him as body. Whatever that time frame is that you want, you can put all that information here. And maybe if you can only message that fan every X amount of hours. So let's say that fan hops on and off maybe 10 times within 1 hour. You don't want to send them 10 messages within that hour. That's not going to be a great thing. And they're going to get really annoyed probably by you spamming them the same message. So you can obviously turn that off. So within the same day, if you have that on there, it'll turn it off and not allow them to be messaged. And of course, you just create a custom message as we've done before. But that's everything inside of the automations tab, and that's everything also inside of the growth tab of Chatterly.